So we are going to pick up H72. We're gonna work slightly backwards of our usual mode because Nolan is here, Michelle isn't here yet. So it's almost like end of session kind of vibe. So what I said to the committee before you arrived, Nolan, is that I don't think there are any revenue implications for the amendment, but just wanted to do our due diligence before the amendment comes to the floor. So curious your thoughts on the revenue implications of the amendment.
There is no revenue implications on the amendment.
Thank you, Nolan. I appreciate that.
Well, that's a
And I'm going backwards. And for the record,
Yes,
Nolan Langwell with Joint Fiscal.
thank you for being here so much. Good to see you in this new year. I did think that would magically make Michelle appear and has not.
That might be my fastest testimony ever.
Oh, I like setting.
Thanks, Nolan.
We're gonna sit here in a moment of peace and quiet. On the record.
On the record, okay.
There's no new revenues raised. That's what I should have said.
Would you like to say that in a full sentence?
Okay, I want to say this.
You can stand up, please.
I'd like to revise my,
Okay.
this amendment raises no new revenues.
Thank you.
That's what I should have said.
What a good fellow.
Yeah, it's all about wording.
All right. Almost a catechism.
Breathe in. We're having a moment of peace and quiet.
Yes, we can.
It was almost like the sneeze pathology backwards. It was kind of fun. So I'm sure that's very cartoony.
Oh, Representative Small, we are live and we are waiting for Michelle, but you are welcome to tell us a brief thing if you want to, but there's no pressure. And actually, Michelle's here, so.
The expert.
Well, we were running behind and then we were running ahead and thank you.
I just
No, it's not you.
conversation, and then somebody there caught me up in conversation.
So we went a little bit backwards. Nolan has already shared with us that there are no new revenue implications for the amendment.
Okay.
So
Do
we're,
you need me to share the screen or no? You're-
no, you can just tell us about the amendment is great. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So for the record, Michelle Childs, Office of Legislative Counsel, and we're taking a look at the Wood et al. Amendment, draft 2.1. And there's 4 instances of amendment. So the first instance of amendment is there is a provision in section 1 that requires the Department of Health in consultation with stakeholders and health departments of other states that have overdose prevention centers to develop operating guidelines for overdose prevention centers here that would, if they were going to be looking to get approval to run, then they would have to follow those guidelines. But there is no date that's currently in the underlying Human Services Amendment. And so what the first instance of amendment does is it provides that those guidelines have to be adopted no later than April 1st of 2025. So the second instance of amendment, so with regard to the pilot program for overdose prevention centers, currently it allows for 1 or more centers, and that is changed in the second instance of amendment to be 2. so that there would be 2 centers that would be authorized. And there currently is an appropriation of $1 million from the, and I'm going to look at Evidence-Based Education and Advertising Fund. And that, with the addition of the second center, that is being changed from $1 million to $2 million. And,
How much is in the fund?
question.
Yes. Fiscal year, I believe it was 2.3, 2.6 was left unexpended. That's taken into consider after what the governor had already proposed in the budget at that point.
Back to you, Michelle.
So in the underlying Human Services Amendment, there is a study that's to be conducted, and it's the Department of Health is to contract with a researcher or independent consulting entity to be reviewing the overdose prevention centers over a period of time. And those reports would come back to the legislature and the administration as well. And currently there is in section 8 of the Human Services Amendment, there is an appropriation from the general fund of $300,000 to fund that study. And the third instance of amendment is changing that from revenue source from the general fund to the opioid abatement special fund. And the last one being changed to effective on passage instead of July 1st.
Okay, thanks, Representative.
Do we have a site or sites identified, or the increase, I assume, reflects that there's potential for more than one site?
I think there has been testimony that they were hoping that there would be something available in the southern part of the state. Some enabling legislation does allow for mobile sites, so whether it would be a fixed or a mobile site, I think is yet to be determined. But I think the sponsors of the amendment could talk to you more about their discussions with folks in the southern part of the state and what's potentially available.
Any other questions?
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Just want to, every chance on the record, I just want to say how excited I am by this bill and how grateful I am for all the work that all the committees have done on it on behalf of all the people who have died in my community and might not in the future. Thank you, Michelle. And we are done, committee. We're on the floor. Nope, we're back here to talk about budget adjustments and then fee reports. And we're on the floor at 3. So we're back in this room at 1:15. Thanks.